Welcome to Barstool Bench Mob, presented by High Noon Hard Seltzer.
That's funny. I mean, that's funny.
So
that's very funny.
Big Cat has replaced
you
Rico.
hear that different
Rip the
voice?
Band-Aid off.
It's a little bit of a different sounding podcast today. We have a new co-host, Big Cat. How you doing?
What's up? I'm excited to be here. I was going to be on this show regardless because I wanted to hold Jake and Rico and your Marty.
Oh, I have
more
feet
so
on the
the two of
fire.
them now. I've given in.
I have a whole thing on Wisconsin.
About the
today.
Badgers. Well, it's probably going to be wrong.
No.
But yeah, Rico's not here because he loves the sponsor High Noon so much he chucks it at people's heads.
The fact that it's High Noon is
It's
just
very funny.
It's our presenting sponsor.
I mean, Rico's gone for a month. He lost his marbles. I mean, we don't really. I think you've heard enough about it, right? I feel Dave talked about it enough. He's gone for a month. I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do, but
I think it's going to be good for him.
I think he's gonna
I
come.
hope. Rico, I love Rico. I've been with him for 3 presidencies. I love the guy. I do give him advice, serious advice all the time. He doesn't really listen all the time. I think this will hopefully be his, maybe I should change a little bit. But I think it will all be good. No one got hurt. It was probably going to happen anyway. I'm actually, the worst part is I'm not. I decided not to be. I decided to take a break from being a rider.
Yeah.
January 1st.
It's a good timing.
So it's like, I want to say I'm a rider, but he has still not come in my hole. So I can't. That's all I've been asking him to do. So I'm a rider in spirit right now.
Yeah.
I think he's got to come back literally just like with his therapist at his hip every time.
He's Andy Bernard. This is Andy Bernard. It really is. Like I tweeted that screen grab last night of Andy Bernard being like, so they sent me off for management training. It's anger management training, but I'm top level stuff. Like that's what he's in his head. He's probably saying that, but he'll be fine. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I hope he gets well soon and everything
comes well soon. I mean, he's not.
No, I know, but
he's mentally a little sick.
No, I hope he takes care of what he needs
He'll
to
be
take
fine.
care of.
Here's what I'm going to say to Rico, and if he listens to this, I hope he actually listens to my advice. Barstool's a very tough place to work sometimes just because there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of, when you're on all the time, it becomes a lot. I completely understand that aspect of it. There has to be a willingness sometimes to go along with the jokes. You guys obviously had your weekend from hell in Michigan, and I was telling Rico after, like, Dave and I were texting him over the weekend because Dave was mad that you guys were asking for free stuff, and Dave was offering him free movie tickets and free, like, sandwiches. I was like, Rico, that's the difference. Like, you don't have to always be serious reporter, Rico. You can, like, if I were in his shoes, the minute everything gets canceled, I would have done an entire weekend of free stuff and like reviews of it. Like it would have been just a video of me just getting handouts, like T-shirts, cups of coffee, donuts, sandwiches, movies. If you want to fucking let me go tour your house, I'll go tour your house. Like it would have been a very hilarious wrinkle on the whole thing. Instead, he resists it. So maybe that will be the big lesson: is like, hey, when shit goes wrong all the time in the content business, you got to think on your feet and not be angry about like things that are out of your control.
I wish he told us about the movie tickets because I would
very
have
funny,
that was like first thing on my mind was let's go get the free shit. That's
just free shit all weekend.
Yeah.
So play into it. You got to play into it
sure.
sometimes.
Dave didn't really give a fuck about what we were doing, to be honest.
Right, you got to be
Rico's in it, and it's like he saw a tweet and he just was bored in Chicago and he wanted to make some content.
The key to this entire game is like you can make fun of other people. You got to make fun of yourself too. Yeah. You got to be able to be self-deprecating. So hopefully that comes through.
100%. So here's the plan for the show.
We are talking like he's got fucking cancer. It's crazy. He lost his cool and threw a can at someone.
Yeah.
High Noon. Delicious.
So here, 100 calories, gluten-free.
Yes.
No added sugar.
Yes.
Real vodka, real juice. So here's the plan the next month. Big Cat will fill in on Thursdays.
Yep.
Mondays, it'll most likely be me and Marty. Maybe we'll have a rotating third chair.
Jerry's going to come on.
Maybe Jerry, maybe some other guys to help us out. So Rico should be back in mid-February, and we'll pick up from there. So
beautiful. I love college hoops, so this is great.
Yes.
I watch every night. I gamble every night. You guys have been so fucking wrong about Wisconsin.
Yes,
I
we
can't
have.
wait to get into that. We're gonna get into that. Let's.
What is there to get into?
No,
They're a
it's.
good
I got
team.
so many
They're
things.
a good team.
I got so
What,
many
you gonna
things to
do
say.
Ken Palm on me?
No. Marty's
don't
the
know.
biggest Ken Palm hater
I
of all
fucking hate
time.
That guy. That guy's a fucking nerd. But yeah, we have an interview with Bruce Pearl, a person I did say that Auburn was going to win the SEC before the season. People do forget that, it seems like. But
I disagree with that.
I can't wait to talk about
Yeah,
that.
Bruce
as well.
Pearl was awesome.
And I saw you tweet last night that Auburn is good with the.
Auburn's very
Capital
good.
G-O-O-D.
Auburn's very good. Auburn. That was an impressive game by them.
All right, so let's get into it, Jake.
And here we go.
All right, before we get into today's episode with a kind of a new cast, it just feels weird. It feels a little weird, to be honest, but what doesn't feel weird is that High Noon Hard Seltzer is here. I mean, High Noon has been in the news this week. Big stories. Stetson Bennett, Rico Bosco.
Yeah.
They are a versatile company. They're a versatile can.
They deserve the spotlight. They're very
They're
good.
a versatile drink where you can have winter, spring, fall, summer. Whoa, I almost died there.
Was it a hiccup?
I don't know what that was. But real vodka, real juice, presented by real people, 100 calories, black cherry, grapefruit, pineapple, watermelon. I love the pineapple and black cherry I've been switching to. Rico, I'm sure, is going to have a bunch of High Noons on his suspension. I don't know what's going on. My mouth just like salivated,
what's going on
and
there?
my chest almost just died. So you take the rest of this, Jake.
Yeah, High Noon Hard Seltzer is gluten-free, 100 calories, no added sugar. Perfect drink for college basketball.
I do. Rico,
especially when you're inside and it's cold
Rico
out.
does bring it up a lot, but like the High Noon cooler is sick. I want it bad, so I might just hammer them so I can get it before him during his suspension.
Yeah, absolutely. We love High Noon. You should try it out.
Yeah, again, the biggest thing, I know I always say it, but I want your Saturday setups with your High Noon. When you get your High Noon, I want
we
to
haven't
see
done that this season yet.
Yeah, so let's do that.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the games. All right, let's get into it. Last night, first off, I don't know about you guys. We're recording Wednesday afternoon. Tuesday night, I thought that was the best slate of games in college basketball this season.
I agree.
From beginning to end, every game of note seemed to come down to the wire.
I also went 7-2, so it helped that.
I was mad because I bet on the Oklahoma and Texas game, and I didn't realize it was Longhorn Network. So
Yes.
I'm going to say that wasn't the best.
Doesn't count as a system play.
Yeah, it really pissed me off when I was trying to find the game. I was like, how the fuck is Oklahoma and Texas not on TV? But yeah, good games. Okay, good games. Fine,
Yeah.
Jake. I'll agree with you.
I think the biggest storyline we get out of last night is that there are now no more undefeated teams in college basketball. Number 1 Baylor, number 5 USC entered the night. The last 2 undefeated. That's no longer the case.
That's
Yes.
good. You don't want that. You don't want that at all.
Right. So what I tweeted, and I think it's similar to 2020, a little redemption. 2020 tournament was wide open. We have our producer Dukes here, big Dayton guy. Dayton, San Diego State, Michigan State, Kansas. It was wide open. 2021, not really the case. I think
2020 actually was the year they ran the ESPN model because of COVID, and Wisconsin won the bracket.
that's
Just
true.
So you know.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Just so you know.
So Wisconsin.
They were playing the best basketball of anyone
Yes.
that February. I remember vividly the game they won at Assembly Hall to clinch a tie for the Big Ten title, and then COVID happened like 2 days later.
Fair.
I can't sit here anymore. I got to talk about it.
All right, let's
I
fucking
can't
do
sit
it.
here.
I don't care.
Yeah, Johnny Davis is good. Sure.
He's really good.
Very, very,
Why don't you put a
very
really
good.
on that?
He is really good. The Big Ten is not that good.
Okay, what is not that good? Like, there are good teams.
They're good. There's like Purdue.
They
I
won
thought-
at Purdue.
which is a great win, but I thought Purdue was way better than they were, and they're losing to fucking Rutgers now. Rutgers
That was
is a
a
bad
fluke.
team.
Rutgers is a hard place.
But
Look,
but still.
but hold on. Look, conference play is tough.
Winning on the road in conference.
Alabama, who some people on this podcast think are the greatest team ever created. They think they're like the fucking, 90s. They're the 90s Bulls or something, or like the Celtics, Bill Russell's Celtics. Like, it's crazy. They went and lost to Mizzou. It's hard to win in conference, like, week after week. You will have games that you look bad. Yes, the Big Ten, like, it's really Michigan has let down the Big Ten. Like,
Yes,
because that's
that
the thing
is
is,
the
like,
biggest thing.
every other team is pretty much where you thought. Wisconsin's better than you thought.
Right.
Michigan State's good. Purdue's good. I think Illinois is, like, kind of finding their
Iowa's
footing.
better than people expected.
Iowa's a little bit better than they expected. Rutgers is a tough place to play. Like, Michigan stinks. and maybe you can throw in Maryland has been disappointing as well. But like other than that, I think the Big Ten's pretty solid.
But
no
you
one's
don't
going to say
think-
Big Ten's the best conference right
It's
now.
not though.
No one's going to say that.
Yeah, but
right.
I'm
But
saying,
so what's your point?
My point is that it's like the same like last year. I know everyone brings up last year, but they all are good teams where they just beat up on each other, and then when they play out of their conference, they're getting
Okay,
smoked.
but when you say that, like it makes no sense because Wisconsin went and won the Maui and they beat a fucking good Houston team, so they went out and played out of their conference and played well.
That's the fucking
No,
November.
but you
the
can't
November.
change the argument here.
No,
You're saying
November.
Wisconsin's getting fat.
A resume
on Big
is
Ten
a resume,
A
Mark.
resume is a resume, but all right, let's go through
Wisconsin
the resume.
had one bad game that you can point to, and it's because Johnny Davis didn't play against Providence at home.
Right.
And they got did he
Ohio
play?
I mean, they
State-
lost to Ohio State.
on the
State.
road.
I forgot
Which is
Ohio
fine.
State.
Ohio
Ohio State's a
State's-
good team
they're a
too, and
good
they
team.
lost on the road.
Of course, they're a good team.
Okay,
But
so
I don't think like right now if let's make a bet, Wisconsin doesn't make what in the tournament.
I see,
They had no
What about-
expectations.
but the
this year.
But the
tournament
thing is, there's
so,
expectations now though. Like
there's-
Iowa
the
State
tournament
didn't
is
either.
so fluky. It's matchups. It's who you get seeded against. Like all these things matter so much. Like the years that Wisconsin went to the Final Four when they knocked off Arizona both those years. Arizona was a really good team. Wisconsin was a bad matchup for them. Like you can't. The tournament is so fluky that I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, Wisconsin's definitely an Elite Eight team. Who the
Right.
fuck knows? They could play a team that has like the perfect recipe to beat them.
Yeah.
So I'm not. All I want is a little respect for the fact that some people didn't even have them in the bracket, which
Everyone did
is kind of crazy when you think about it. Because I think someone maybe Dukes look this up. I think Wisconsin's made the tournament like 24 out of the last 25 years, or 23 out of the last 25 years.
always there.
They're in there every year, and then for some reason this year they're not.
2018.
No, I'm saying, but how many of the last? No, I know they didn't miss it in 2018, but I think that was the first time. It was like they've been in the tournament 23 out of the last 25 years. I want to say.
Yeah.
And one of the most consistent runs in terms of making the actual tournament. I would be hard pressed to find a team that's like. I mean, besides the true blue, but Kentucky didn't make it
Right.
a couple times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So
they're
you're-
always consistently.
I was wrong in the
good.
preseason. I admit that, but now I believe Wisconsin
So
has the best
everyone-
player
They
in the
beat
country.
all right. So they beat Texas A&M, Houston, a good St. Mary's team. Wouldn't you say, Marty?
No,
Marty
I don't
loves
at
the
all.
WCC. It's his
No,
favorite
WCC 's
conference.
Now this is
disgusting.
you're changing your argument.
No,
They
WCC is
beat,
disgusting.
They beat Marquette. They beat Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech. These are all out of conference games that
Yeah, but
like
they're-
they have a decent out of conference schedule. I mean, if you want to go off fucking Ken Palm, Houston's number 3 team.
Yeah.
That was and they did beat them with Sasser and like everyone that was not her at the point.
Wisconsin made it 20 out of 21 years and would have been 21 out of 22.
20, so
Yeah.
would have been
So
21
2018
out of
is the only
22.
year, yeah.
And Jake was like, "Yeah, you know what? Like,
Let's make it
let me just.
I'm
I think
just-
it's just going to be different this year."
So obviously everyone's concerned, not even really concerned, because I do think like with Giant Davis, right? It's like everyone's like, if you didn't have him, Rico Stick. If you didn't have him, blah blah. You
Yeah,
do
no
have
shit.
him.
Yeah, we do have.
It's
him.
like that's
Yeah,
like saying you don't have LeBron James.
I'll say this right now: if Johnny Davis like just disappeared from the Wisconsin team, they probably wouldn't be very good.
It'd be bad. But
I'll hand up. That's right.
a lot of people, he hasn't had an off game yet. Like
No, he did. Yes, he
Maryland's-
did. Maryland
but
was an off
19
game.
points is still
Yeah, but it was
like
bad shooting.
Yeah,
and,
but-
and Tyler Wall stepped up.
1,000. That's what I was going to get to. Like, 19 points is still like not like he hasn't had really shit the
No,
bed
but that
yet,
was a
but it was
very
bad for him,
inefficient game
for
from
sure.
him. And of course, you would rather have 5 unbelievable players than 1 unbelievable player and 4 good players.
Yeah, this is what
Obviously,
you got right
just,
now.
This is just basic. Like, it's not like we're not reinventing the wheel. But Johnny Davis is very, very good. And if some of the other guys can come along a little bit, like when Brad Davidson's making his threes, there's some guys that if they can get a little bit better, this is what like the ceiling of Wisconsin basketball is you have one really, really good player, Frank Kaminsky, and you hope you can get a Sam Decker and a couple other guys. I mean, we don't have a Sam Decker right now, but a few guys that can take
If Wall can consistently
a
do
few
that.
steps
Yeah,
forward.
if he steps up like that, they
Right.
have that's a good team. That's all you really do.
That's all I
need.
want. I want a little respect.
Right now, I will give you the respect, but I
Would you be shocked? So I'm admitting that the tournament is fluky and everything can happen. We see it every single year. You know what I mean? There's always some big upsets. Would you, though, be shocked if Wisconsin went to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8? That would shock you?
No.
Elite 8 would shock me.
It would
What's the difference?
shock
One
you.
game,
Yeah.
one
No,
game makes that
that's
much of a
crazy.
difference.
No, that's
Elite
crazy.
Eight would shock me because I really don't think they can go deep into
A
tournament
Final
like that.
Four would shock me this year. An Elite Eight would not.
Sweet 16 doesn't, but Elite Eight's like
Nah.
no.
It wouldn't shock me.
It would shock
That's
me.
crazy.
No, I don't think it's crazy. I mean, that's a team where they are out kicking their coverage at the moment, and that's them putting together
But how
3
long do
straight
they have
games.
to win before you can say that they might just
When
be
they
good?
won at Purdue,
Their next-
that ended it for me.
They won at
If they
Purdue.
win at Purdue, you can win any game the
Think
rest
about
of the
this.
year.
Think about the week they had. They won at Purdue, a complete flat spot against Iowa that most teams will probably come out flat. They beat Iowa pretty soundly. Like that game, I think ended up being a
By
10-point
9.
game, but they were up by
Yeah.
20. And then they go on a Sunday night, 3 games in 7 days. Maryland's not great, but that's another spot where it's like that should be a guaranteed loss because you don't go on the road after playing 2 big games, 2 big wins, and win in college basketball.
Today, when this comes out, is a big game.
Ohio State, yeah, no, you got to get revenge for your loss.
At home, that's like a game where you know what? This is a game I will actually say that I believe in them if they win this game.
Yeah, no, they got to win that game.
All right.
They got to win that game.
All right, so that's
That was a
Wisconsin
healthy
talk.
conversation about Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, you're
needed
still
that.
wrong, but
I don't think you're wrong.
So yeah, that was what we intended on having Big Cat on originally, but now we're obviously going to dive into the rest of college basketball. So as we mentioned, no more undefeated teams. Number 1 Baylor, number 5 USC lose. We'll start off with number 19 Texas Tech 65, number 1 Baylor 62. We mentioned Wisconsin having a best player, what they would be without him. Well, here's what Texas Tech is doing without Terrence Shannon. They're beating Kansas and Baylor back to back. Pretty impressive.
Crazy.
And you think about those games that we've talked about, the Iowa State, Texas Tech, and the Tennessee, Texas Tech. Disgusting
ugly
games.
games, yeah.
Disgusting. But their defense is what's causing that. And first of all, McCullough's not starting last night. It's like, why bring him in and still play 31 points? He still played 31 minutes. But
Yeah.
he was obviously an X factor. O'Banner played a little better. But Texas Tech is an annoying team to play. And when they get Shannon back, they're going to be a problem.
Yeah, they're a tough team. Like it's a continuation of obviously what Chris Beard put in place, but playing good defense on the road. And then I also thought I was watching that game. There was an obvious quit spot for them when they were down like 14 with about.
Didn't it start like 9-0?
Yeah, but they were down. They were down like 31. I want to say like 16.
31-16,
Yeah,
5:30
31-16.
first half.
Right, and then they stopped Baylor for the rest of the half. Baylor didn't score again, so they ended the half 31-26. The game was kind of won there. Because that's a team, you watch that game and you're like, that team is not going to quit, and they're like a tough out because they can play defense and it all comes from the defense. Like they get some stops and their offense isn't going to light the world on fire. But I was watching that game, I was like, Texas Tech is going to get smoked, and then they just fucking put the clamps down, finished the half well, carried it into the second half. Awesome win.
Yeah, Baylor was held to 17 points below their Big 12 scoring average in
Yeah.
that game. And that's at home.
Great
That's what I'm
defense.
saying. They're not an overwhelming team. Like, you're not going to be like, holy. Like, I think Auburn's an overwhelming team. Like, you got to be on your game. Like, them, it's like, all right, why are they so good? Do you keep them under 70, they're going to win every time.
And it's a mentality thing, too, where, even when we're watching the game, every fan does this, where you're watching a game and your team's down in the first half, and you're like, all right, let's cut it to this by half, and we're okay. Like, that was what they did. They basically said, we've played a terrible first half. They jumped all over us. If we can just get the game to a few possessions going into halftime,
It was 5.
Yeah, right.
21-9 after 10 minutes and down 5 at the half. That's a win.
It's crazy. So they won the game there, and it was a large part to their defense.
I think
and
Mark.
just being Kansas, too, is like, that was like, everyone kind of
another
thought they were getting
letdown
smoked
spot.
after that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Mark Adams deserves to be in the Coach of the Year conversation. Chris Beard really built that
What about
program
Greg
up.
Gard?
Greg Gard should be in it too.
Okay.
Last week we had 3. We had Otzelberger on Iowa State. They were 2-22 last season. Tommy Lloyd in his first season at Arizona, and Ed Cooley. I think both of those two guys, Greg Gard.
I actually would like to say that Greg Gard, and I've actually been a critic of Greg Gard at times.
And last year was ugly with that whole.
Well, last year,
phone
I
thing,
was going
right?
to say Alondo Tucker should actually win Coach of the Year because what he did for the program by basically trying to entrap Greg Gard in a power struggle that just failed epically has completely galvanized the program and
I
gotten
think
Greg Gard back on everyone's side.
Maybe that was why there was no excitement in the preseason, just because everyone just assumed the program was in shambles.
No, Alondo Tucker, shout out.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorite Badgers. He was there when I was in school, and what he did for the program by basically trying to stab Greg Gard in the back it's it can't be overstated.
Yeah. So I think those 5 guys, it's a pretty even race right now, but it'll work itself out.
You don't think Bruce?
Bruce Pearl?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
He's in the conversation.
Will Wade too.
What about Coach K?
No, Will Wade.
Yeah.
I mean, LSU's
They have
playing
one loss.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach K's doing pretty well.
What do you think? Let me ask you a question real quick. If Duke loses tonight, you think that's on John Shire's
Oh, yeah, by the way,
record?
this will come out after the Duke game.
Okay,
So
but if
Yeah,
they
no,
lose, so
it's-
Coach K's not coaching tonight because he got COVID.
No, it's not COVID.
Yeah, it is COVID.
I thought it was
Non-COVID
it's
illness.
Non-COVID illness.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
he's hurting.
All right, so if they lose tonight, though, it's funny that it happened after a loss, and he's like, maybe my team's not that good.
What?
If they lose tonight, do you think John Shire gets the loss on his record? Starts 0-1 as head coach?
For sure he does.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with Coach
You just
K.
ask
I mean,
Pete Gaudette. Because, again, of course, that year that they won like 6 games and Coach K had a back injury, and then he famously said afterwards, if I could change the records, I would. Coach K has all of the ability to change the records. He literally runs Duke.
He does.
If I knew who I could talk to make sure that these losses count for me and not Pete Gaudette, I would. But I can't. I just see that guy every morning when I wake up and look in the mirror.
Hey, he's not coaching. Why would it be on him? You know, it's not his
Good
fault.
to have some Duke hate on this podcast for once.
Well,
I don't like Duke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I know,
have
but
one.
you know,
I
you're too
can't
nice.
hate. Yeah,
You're
I
too
can't
nice.
hate.
I
Yeah,
hate them,
you're
and I
right.
will
I
fucking
try
bring
and
it
get
up.
him. I try and get him to say
No.
like someone's bad for a second. So Providence will lose to fucking Utah State, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's not a bad loss.
It's not.
It's not a bad loss.
It's not
It's like Jesus Christ.
You picked the wrong team.
I know it's a tough team, but like Alcorn State, you're
Okay.
like, they got
No.
good bench that team.
Yeah. And then one more thing from Texas Tech. That Adonis Arms dunk was – I've never seen a dunk down the stretch like that in a pivotal moment.
What do you mean?
I've seen that plenty of times.
In a close game when it's a 1-point game on the road, in a clutch moment, you go for a dunk. I feel like I don't see that a
J.D.
lot.
Davidson kind
Yeah.
of did it at home yesterday. Against
Yeah,
Auburn.
that one too. They ended up losing. We'll get into that game.
Good win for Texas Tech.
Yeah,
though.
huge. The other upset in a top 5 team, Stanford 75, USC 69. First top 5 win for Stanford since 2007. USC 13-1. Marty, I know you're big on bad strength of schedule. Their best win is San Diego State. So are we still in on USC being a Final Four contender?
They played too late. I'll be honest. They played too late. People forget about them.
The game was at 5 o'clock. It's literally the worst time for you to say that. They played at 5
2
p.m.
o'clock.
5 p.m. Eastern time.
I know.
Your grandma
But they
time?
played too late. I'm saying for the rest of the
It's the
schedule.
worst time to say that.
But I'm not. I still think they're a really good team. Mobley's very good. He's stepping up. I think Stanford also I think it was just like a right timing for them.
And I like Drew Peterson, not the murderer. Other Drew Peterson.
Very nice to clarify that.
Stanford's head coach Jared Haas looks like a math teacher. I don't know if you
Yep.
guys saw that.
Yep. Hey,
The
this is
glasses.
also to my point of like conference schedule. Like USC struggles when they go to Stanford. I know there's no fans there. Stanford hits some threes. Like it's hard to win night in, night out in a conference. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Like these teams know each other very well. It's just not surprising to me to see a road loss there.
Right. And not to get depressing here, there were no fans in the stands for that game. Obviously, winning on the road is still tough, but hopefully that's not the trend we continue to see. USC a weird month, too, because they played December 18th, and then they played January 6th. And then they're in the middle of a three-game, 7-day stretch.
You know, I don't really like the Pac-12.
I know you don't.
I don't think UCLA is very good.
So before this, I think we agreed it was a 3-way race. It still is, right? We can't take one road loss and knock them off the top
No.
tier.
No, I still think so.
UCLA and Arizona can make the Final Four. USC did miss 11 free throws.
Never forget Oregon, preseason champion from Rico.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's another team you left off.
Cashed out at November.
Oregon.
It's
Cashed
tough.
out.
You beat everyone there, and not everyone can cash out.
Cash out in November is tough.
That's very tough. That's a panic cash out. I did put a future on Wisconsin 40-1 to win
Yes,
the
I did
title.
see that with their game of the year
$2,000.
winnings.
That's just that. I do not think they're.
That's just a
gonna
heat
win
check
the
kind of thing,
Well,
right?
they're not going to win the national title, but it would be fun if they got to the Final Four and I
could
had that
hedge.
ticket in my back pocket.
100%.
Oh, I wouldn't hedge. You can't
gotta-
hedge with your own team.
That's
No.
true.
Because like, think about if my team won and I won $80,000. Holy
Oh my
shit!
gosh.
What a
Nothing
night.
wrong with that.
In New Orleans, I'd be drunk
Yeah.
for fucking months. I mean, we can get Hank on sometime to tell you about the Final Four, Wisconsin, Kentucky. Wisconsin. It was 2015 when they lost to Duke.
Yeah, good year.
I literally they beat Kentucky in the 38-1 team, and I didn't leave a bar for like 36 hours. I left the bar for like 4 hours to sleep, and I was right back there.
You have to
the
be.
next morning because I was like, I may never be back here.
That's the thing. You never know if you're gonna get back there, especially in basketball, where
So
it's
drunk.
like, all right, let's get.
What's
to
your
this.
saying on Wisconsin? Like they're good enough to get to a certain point every year, but never.
Yeah,
to
no,
get
I
to
don't
the
think they'll
top?
ever win anything in basketball or football.
Volleyball.
I'm realistic about it, and I enjoy the ride. Like some of my favorite memories are going to bowl games, those deep runs in 14 and 15 with my friends. So like you have to know who you are as a sports fan, know what your limit is, and then act accordingly. So I enjoy the ride. I enjoy the tournament games. Like even beating UNC last year when they weren't that good of a team, I enjoyed the fuck out of that because it's like some people are like, oh, that's loser talk. First, no. I know what I am, and I'm gonna enjoy the little moments because you'll drive yourself crazy otherwise.
As of recent though, like your team's, it's one of the most stressful teams you like. Like even Bears,
Yeah, they just
/
stink.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
No, but like they're, like now they stink this year. But like last year, you knew they weren't that good, but
Right.
they could get some. Like they almost give you too much, a little much too
No,
much. hope.
Wisconsin's in football and basketball. It's actually, if you look at it, I don't know if you could find a more consistently like slightly above average school in terms of both programs.
Yes.
Like what school has those two programs that don't have dips? We don't have highs, but we don't have dips.
Even Wisconsin football this year.
Yeah, no, we
It's
don't have
just-
dips. We don't have. We win 8, 9, 10 games every single year. We don't have dips.
It's a frustrating place to be.
Yes, but not if you're self-aware.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like
Yeah.
I know that next time Wisconsin goes to the Rose Bowl, which doesn't mean anything, me and all my friends are going to go and we're going to get fucking shit-faced. If we win, we're going to pretend it's a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Love it. By the way, a little nugget. This is the 5th time in the last 30 years where the last teams remaining who are undefeated lost on the same day. The 4 previous times, one of those teams won it all.
Oh,
So that means by that theory, either USC or Baylor is winning it all.
I would say Baylor more likely than
Yeah.
USC.
Repeat. First time since Gators in 06-07. Let's keep it in the Big 12. Number 9, Kansas 62. Number 15, Iowa State 61. I love how this game ended. No timeouts.
Yep.
No fouls. The last 25 seconds took 25 seconds. We rarely see that.
Bill Self said he wanted to call a timeout, but he got, what's the guy's name who scored the last shot? Ocho? No.
Ochai Agbaji?
Yeah, he was in his hands, so I was like, fuck it, let's let him go.
Yeah, and that's part of being a veteran.
I have to apologize, Iowa State. I thought they were a fugazi 15.
No,
like the
they-
top 25.
yeah,
they're
they
not.
deserve credit.
They deserve credit, and that, especially that game. The spread was like a minus like 11, 8.5 or something like that. And I was like, they're gonna blow them out, and they stayed with them. And wasn't there a goaltending?
So the 148 left, Brockington's layup, bad missed call. I tweeted it out. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was pretty blatant.
Yeah.
It looked like it. But
No,
you can't
that's
blame
right.
it on one call.
But you bring up a good point, Jake. I do love in college basketball, I think there's a lot of times where, they're just kids, so coaches will call a timeout in that situation to try to get everything set, but the defense gets set too, and then you end up with a possession at the end, which we didn't even mention, but that last Baylor possession was horrendous.
Oh, that was
They were
bad.
just
Yes.
dribbling
That was
around.
horrible.
Sometimes it's better to let your playmaker just go make a play. Don't even think about it. Just play basketball.
Just
Yeah,
the
because
defense.
once you do call a timeout, they're in their head. They're like, all right, I'm gonna have to get the
and
ball.
then there's the
Yeah.
clock,
You're a guy,
situation,
it's
like everything. So
just let the flow keep going.
I can't stand whenever there's a one possession game and they take a shot trying to get a buzzer beater. Like, give yourself at least a
Yes.
couple seconds for a putback.
That viral clip in the WNBA a few years ago, remember you guys? Wasn't a half-court shot with like 10 seconds
Yes,
left?
yes,
Stupidest shot in America.
They just
But-
freak out.
Best.
Yeah,
Huge.
it's crazy. So that bad missed goaltending call changed things.
I don't know what's going on with Jalen Wilson. He stinks. Every time I watch them, I think he's going to do well, and he just is not good.
Jake,
Yeah.
thoughts? Does he stink?
He stunk this year.
Wow.
He's had 2
Wow,
good games.
big cat
Mean he
comes
stinks.
on, he
That doesn't mean he
fucking-
stinks.
he
He stunk
stinks.
this year, though.
Yeah. Also for Iowa State, I know that you fans do it in the NFL. When the schedule comes out, you go win, loss, win, loss. This is the first easiest loss you would circle
Yes.
preseason. The fact that they
Yeah,
were
yeah, for sure.
right there is really impressive for a
It-
team that won 2 games.
It sounds crazy to say there's statement losses or moral victories, but that did feel like that for an Iowa State program that was completely lost last year.
1,000%. Especially when I was saying, I thought Kansas was going to blow them the fuck out, especially at home. Iowa State lost like their.
So they lost 3 out of 4. Baylor,
Yeah.
a win against Texas Tech, losses to Oklahoma and Kansas. They have Texas Tech next. So
Jesus Christ.
they need to win one of those probably, or else you lose 4 in a row.
What do you think's better, SEC or Big 12? It's tough. Both are pretty deep. And I think I'm leaning
deep.
towards the Big 12. Even though I just told Burst Pearl that I thought it was the SEC.
I think
Because I just got scared of them.
I think right now there's 2 teams in the SEC that can win it all and 3 in the Big 12.
Only 2 in the SEC.
I think Auburn and it's tough. Auburn.
Don't say Alabama.
No.
By the way, this was before all the Rico things that happened. He did say on Monday night that if Alabama misses the tournament, I become the permanent co-host of this podcast.
Is that still a standing offer?
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's leaning towards that way.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
There's some bad
they'll still
losses
make
on
it.
there.
They'll still make
Yeah.
it. But if they don't, he's out.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is on the record now. Back to that. I think, you know what? I think Auburn's the only team right now. I think LSU, Kentucky.
No, I think LSU can win it all.
I do too.
maybe, but I'm
Their
more
defense
confidently
is
in the
awesome.
3 in the Big 12.
One Baylor. Who?
Let me look real quick.
Baylor, Kansas. I still think Texas is going to flip the switch
I
at some
think
point.
Texas
They're in
can
the
too.
20s in the rankings right now.
I think Texas.
And then
can
Texas
definitely.
Tech, even Oklahoma can go on a run. I don't know. I think
the Big 12 is deeper than the SEC.
the Big 12 has more championship contenders, but in terms of overall, it's a coin flip. And I know that's an out, but
I think the
feels like
SEC
it.
might be deeper because you got
So
teams
go
like
through it.
yeah. So like obviously you got Auburn, Kentucky, LSU, Alabama, Tennessee. Those are your ranked teams.
And I think, but that's the thing with Tennessee. I'm a little
Okay,
like,
but like then you can look. I mean, Ole Miss has shown flashes at home. Florida's probably a little worse than their record shows right now. Georgia's not good, but Arkansas is at the bottom of the SEC right now,
Right.
and they still have like talent. They could still turn it around. So
they're a surprise.
yeah, like
they're
if your
bad.
last place team as it stands right now is a team that you still think is like a decent team, I don't know. It's a pretty deep conference.
Yeah, the SEC has some bad teams. I don't know if the Big 12 necessarily does.
Do you know that? So Texas A&M is second in the SEC.
Yeah, they're
Do you know
confusing.
do you know who beat them in the
You
non-conference?
Son of a bitch.
Interesting.
You son of a bitch.
Yes. All right. So while we're on the SEC talk, it's a perfect transition to the game that includes our guests coming up in a few moments. Number 4, Auburn 81. Number 24, Alabama 77. And we asked Coach Pearl this here in a few moments. The first thing we asked him was about the Karate Kid celebration. A little dig at Alabama football there. He said he had no idea about it. It was awesome. That's what makes
I
rivalries
believe that.
rivalries.
And
Yes.
seeing that as like it was cool having the basketball team at the football game and seeing that like, all right, we're gonna fucking pull this out when we win.
I did hear. I think it was what's his name? Sonny Dykes was doing the call.
Jimmy Dykes?
Jimmy Dykes.
Yeah.
Who's Sonny Dykes?
I don't know. Let me look it up.
I think I'm thinking of Sonny Cumbie, who was the coach at Texas Tech football, who's now the coach at Louisiana Tech, maybe. Either way,
Sonny Dykes,
or
the
Louisiana.
football coach.
You have too much information.
Louisiana.
He's the head coach at TCU.
TCU. So he did say at one point he was like, all that Bruce Pearl and Nate Oates wanted was for this game to matter as much as the football game. That game was awesome last night.
It'll never happen though.
It's not even close.
Give me a fucking break.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
dude, if you
stupid.
asked me, Alabama fans, like, which would you rather have won last night or the fucking Iron Bowl?
I don't even think they would know they played
Just
last
relax.
night.
Yeah, just
They don't.
relax. It was an awesome game. I loved it. But that's just never going to be the same.
It's not, but the game really was awesome, especially Auburn with Walker Kessler being in foul trouble, not playing anything really. What did he play? 10 minutes, and he had 2 points. What they did, because they were up 12, 13 towards the end
They're
of
up
the game.
14 with 8 minutes left.
And that's the thing with Alabama. They play so fast, and Shackelford was whapping from 3 out of nowhere, and Quinterly was too. But that's the thing. They rely on that 3. I know we say that all the time, but they really do, and they were struggling at first. But they came back. But it was more impressive what Auburn did is to, on away games, shoo them off pretty much when they was tied up with 50
Right,
seconds.
because they had all the momentum and
Every
it's hard to
momentum,
rebound off
yeah.
of that.
There
but-
was the time when they were hitting threes, missing, and then the amount of charge calls they were getting. Alabama too, with the crowds going crazy. So that to me was showing where Auburn got to a point where it was really fucking hard to win, and they did it. So that's why I like them even more.
No, 100%.
I also thought Alabama, my problem with Alabama is they just – well, there's 2 problems. It happened last year where they didn't shoot well from the free throw line, right? I also feel like when you're shooting threes as much as they are, and then it's threes and then quick slashes for twos at the rim. I just sometimes their offense kind of stalled. They did go to the free throw line a couple times in the last 4 minutes, but sometimes when your offense is struggling at the end because Auburn put the clamps down, you just need a guy who can fucking go get a foul. You know what I mean? You need a guy who can get some contact, basically make the team say either you're getting this shot off or you're getting fouled, and go get some points from the free throw line because it settles everything down. It gets you in a good spot. I just think sometimes when you're reliant on 3-pointers, and again, Alabama does do well with 2-pointers as well at the rim, but that's just watching that game. It's you just want one of those guys to be like, fuck it, I'm gonna go get fouled.
1,000%. We were talking with Bruce Pearl too, and he was like, with those guards, they're great shooters, whatever. But when they're driving the lane, all their starting five is fucking huge. Auburn.
Right.
So when they're
that's
driving
the other
lane,
problem. Alabama doesn't have.
They have no size at all.
Right.
And Auburn's guards are fucking huge, and Smith is insane.
Smith is insane. Also, Wendell Green in the last 7 games, 16 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. In this game, 19 points. 3 threes, 0 turnovers. So It's just guys. You knew Jabari Smith would come in here as one of the top recruits in Auburn ever and make a statement like Paolo was doing at Duke. But the guys around him stepping up is what takes them from a Sweet 16 team to a Final Four team.
1,000%. I mean, also Alabama 7 of 31 from 3. That's a lot of threes.
I mean, we knew they would take a lot, obviously, but they need that clip to be a little bit better. And Auburn, they still have room for improvement. We mentioned Wendell Green. Walker Kessler's been great. Alan Flanagan, he missed the first 2 months. He came back December 22nd against Murray State, 9 points per game last 3 games. So it's those role players outside of your 5-star best player, which can take you to another level. You mentioned the 3-pointers from Alabama. They're 241st in KenPom 3-pointers.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not what they probably drew up at the beginning of the season.
Keon Ellis confuses me.
Great tour guide.
Great tour guide, great guy, but he's very good on defense. But his offense is just he had 10 points last night, but it's just he should be more of a key player to me than he is, to be honest. Do you agree or no?
Yeah, I think as a senior, there's obviously a lot more pressure, but they have some dudes too, where it's he doesn't need to carry the weight.
Yeah,
there's other guys who can pick up the weight as well. Alabama also, little uncharted territory for this group. They didn't lose back-to-back games last year at all.
Oh, wow.
What a stat.
Yeah.
Who do they have this weekend?
They're at Mississippi State. That's a tough one. Mississippi State's kind of a bubble team right now, so it's not an easy win by any stretch.
I love
and then LSU.
I love Ole Miss on Saturday with Auburn going to town.
Right. I think if Auburn wins that
spot.
game, and we'll transition to that in a second here.
That's a great spot.
I think Auburn might be the number 1 team in the country if they win that game.
I think they already are.
Yeah, they got to be.
Yeah, Gonzaga and UCLA, I feel like just haven't played COVID.
Yeah, no, I think they are.
Well, Gonzaga doesn't play one anymore now, so obviously.
Marty has been on the anti-WCC take. He doesn't think more than 2 teams are getting in, right? That was the line we said, 2.5. That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's going to be at least 3, maybe 4.
There won't be 4.
I was just looking at this schedule. This is crazy. I just was looking at this schedule and it says top 25 player rankings. Big Ten leads way with 8 players on updated men's list. That's crazy.
Just looking at articles now.
No, I was looking at the schedule.
Yeah.
That just popped up.
Marty, that J.D. Davison dunk was sick, even though they lost.
That was outrageous, that dunk.
But yeah, Alabama.
I love the tap in the head too.
He didn't even know he got an N1. He was just doing it. And then he's like, oh shit, I got to shoot one.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a really tough road game at Mississippi State. They might already be unranked. If they lose this, they definitely will. So
yes, I would say so. I mean,
Right.
we've had some tough losses.
we
and
have
it's-
our SEC road trip bias, and obviously the Must Bus is not going in the right direction, and
well,
here's Alabama.
Some people have been kicked off the Must Bus. They're not in this room right now.
Yeah, he's kicked off.
You can't.
I did ask him
can't.
during Will Wade interview. I was like, who would you take, Alabama or LSU? And he choked up.
Ooh.
And you know what Will Wade called him for that?
What?
Chicken shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he's got to either be all in Nate Oates or not.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
And if you were listening last episode, Will Wade did text us the Florida Gator on how big it was. It's ginormous.
Yeah, we'll
It's
recap
just
that game later
too
on in the
much.
show. But let's get to our interview with Auburn head coach Bruce Pearl.
Before we get into today's guest, one of my favorite guests of this year because I've been on him so much. I almost feel like Rico in that. I keep saying Rico, I don't know why, but I almost feel like I'm becoming like an Auburn fan because I love them so much. Obviously, I'm not a fake Duke fan like another person, but I gotta stop throwing shots at the guy. Jesus Christ. But before we get into the interview, I want to talk to you about wood grooming. So, Barstool, we're in every avenue. You can go to CVS. You can go to Wood. What is it?
Getwood.com at your local CVS.
Getwood.com. So when I tell people this, so I have a lot of the product. I smell fantastic when I use it. They have beard oil. They have shampoo. They have conditioner. They have body wash. They have so many, everything. They have everything you need for the bathroom and a shower. We have it. The best thing I like about this product is, first of all, the name is Wood. Is awesome. Like,
people just love saying wood.
Yeah, wood. And even if you're not a Barstool per se, like fan, a huge fan, you go into CVS and you see that bottle and that packaging, you're gonna get it. It's very faint Barstool. It's not Barstool body soap. It's just wood, and it's great. I use it. I honestly use it every day. It's fantastic. So you could get it. Tell people how they get it, Jake.
Yeah, you can get it. Well, first off, it offers products across hair, body, beard, and shave. Wood is for those who dare to try new things and always planning their next adventure. Wood works and smells as good as it looks. Marty's talked about his experience with wood. I'm going to try it out as well. I'm very excited for that. So shop Wood at getwood.com at your local CVS. Again, all products, $15 and less. So I can't wait to jump in the wood game. And luckily, there's a CVS right under our office. So I'm going to have to try it out immediately after recording this podcast. All right, here he is, the head coach of the Auburn Tigers, Bruce Pearl. All right, we want to welcome on a very special guest. He is the head coach of the number 4 Auburn Tigers. It's Bruce Pearl. The Tigers 15-1 right now, a 12-game winning streak. And earlier this week, a huge win in the Iron Bowl of basketball at Alabama. Got to ask you about the end of that game, Coach. Your players, the Cobra Kai Karate Kid celebration. What went into that? Did you know that was going to happen after the buzzer?
No, I had no idea what they were doing. But actually, I thought it was really cool because I guess that after Alabama beat us in football, and you guys remember that game, we dominated that game against Alabama till the last, couple possessions.
Yep.
And then after the game, our kids sit right there. Our basketball team sits in the end zone. And I guess that's what the Alabama football did to all the student section. So our guys must have had that planned out. I thought it was awesome.
I kind of love it. It almost shows how they're taking everything personally, and they're like, all right, we're gonna do it right back to you. I kind of love it.
I did too, and I thought it was sort of like a band of brothers, and I would even think that Alabama would respect that. Like if Alabama comes in and beats us here, later in the year when they play us here, I would expect them to be doing it.
Yeah, and they should do it right on the Auburn.
Yeah, and the fact that our guys did it for the football team, I think speaks to a little bit about what's special about Auburn. This is a pretty cool place. I've been a lot of places. You guys know that. And this place is the Auburn family thing is real. Our kids are really close with the football team and the gymnastics team and the women's basketball team. And that's what a small college town will do for you.
Yeah. You're close with the football team too. You're just, first of all, you're taking your shirt off. You're yoked under that damn fucking shirt. And then I see you with Cam Newton. You're on The Bachelor. You're all over the place now. How is The Bachelor?
Well, I'll just talk about my shirt off. My wife says, honey, look, America has seen quite enough of that, okay? And she says, quite frankly, so have I. This you keep your clothes on, dear. All right? It's not really worth showing anybody anymore. And she's right. I'll go back to The Bachelor. So again, my son was so excited about the fact that I was going to be on with you guys. My son is my assistant here at Auburn because he follows you guys more than an older guy like me would. Yeah. That doesn't hurt your feelings, right?
No, not at all.
So when The Bachelor's right, so The Bachelor's coming to town, and Steven knows me. I got the same pair of sneakers on I had last. You still call them sneakers? Maybe last year they're dirty. They're whatever. And he knew I wouldn't get a haircut. I wouldn't wear my best sweatsuit. It's like that. Because I don't know The Bachelor from The Bachelorette. I don't. This is the biggest thing you'll do all year long, Dad. More people will see you in The Bachelor. They saw you on the final floor. Yeah. So he kind of made me clean up. That's what I remember about it.
Is Pilot Pete kind of a baller? Can he hoop?
Who?
Pilot Pete,
Who's
The Bachelor. Yeah.
No, he was terrible. He was awful. But Maddie has worked my basketball camp for years. You know, her dad, Chad Pruitt's my assistant here. And, I mean, she does all the ball handling drills. She runs my ball handling stations. I mean, this kid, he couldn't dribble with one hand. Maddie was doing stuff with the balls with two.
Yeah, she does.
He was not. He was completely. He was out of. She's way out of his league.
Oh yeah, if you come in and start dribbling like that, I'm out. Like get him out of here. If she's showing up, she does like TikToks and she has unreal ball handling skills. It's crazy. I would never go to the basketball court with her because she just diced me up.
That's awesome. So diving into this team right now, we mentioned 15-1, the 12 straight wins. How do you manage the outside chatter versus what's going on the court right now?
You know, I don't know what all the outside chatter is. And I know the guys, you know, with social media and everything, I'm sure they're reading and listening. But our whole thing is just, as you guys know, our whole thing is just trying to get better and keep winning while we're doing it. Like, because we're so new together, we got a long way to go. And so my job, I can be much harder on the kids when we're winning than if you're losing. You know, you got to build their confidence, so on and so forth. So I'm on them pretty good, and I'm not going to let them get too terribly happy. Like last night was the first time that we danced in the locker room. We hadn't done that yet. Now there was no water, there was no champagne, there was no, you know, we haven't. And so yeah, that was our biggest win, a road win against a ranked team and our rival. I get it, but we've been kind of going about our business like we're supposed to. And so hopefully if that continues, I think, you know, that would be a good thing, and not listening too much to what the outside world is saying about how good we are.
Yeah, you should tell all your kids to unfollow me then, because all I do is say, I said from what I say in the beginning
Preseason,
of the year,
we picked our winner for each conference, and this man right here did have Auburn winning the SEC.
Coach Pearl, I was like, Bruce Pearl is a good coach. First of all, you basically play during the game. You're on the court. You were holding the ref yesterday. I saw you hold the ref's shoulder. You were on the court. I'm like, all right, Auburn is going to be one of the best teams in the country, I believe. Like when I was watching yesterday, your team is just so much bigger and athletic than them. Like they have great guards. Like Alabama is nothing against them. Like Quinterly Shackelford were unbelievable. But like the rebounding you guys have and your guards, it's insane.
Yeah, our front line at 3 and 4 and 5, you know, with Al Flanagan and Devin Cambridge at the 3, Jalen Williams and Jabari Smith at the 4, and Walker Kessler and Dylan Cardwell at the 5. Those 6 guys are all big at their position. They're all long. They're all athletic. And so, yes, when Alabama's guards would be going down the lane, there is a lot more size and length to deal with. And then maybe some of the fact that some of our contests, you know, our guys with their length get out there a little bit sooner, a little longer. And we're using that length at the rim and guarding the 3-point line, you know, to our advantage. You know, kudos for giving us the love early. But that wasn't easy to do because, yes, Jabari Smith, no-brainer. But the rest of the Al Flanagan, you know, no-brainer. Yeah. But the rest of the pieces were all really unproven. A couple of mid-major guards. You know, KD scored at Georgia, but he could do it here. You know, we didn't have a great year last year, but this team has gotten a lot better, and we're going to continue to get better.
You mentioned Jabari Smith. What separates him from any other player you've coached in his career? Because he seems like he's in that elite category.
Well, I've never had the number 1 player in the draft, and I got a chance to have that for sure. I think his secret sauce is the combination of really being a good guy and a good teammate, a great teammate, and really enjoying just college and his teammates and competing. You know, he came here to get better, and he wanted to win. He wanted to try to win championships. He is not focusing on like what he has to do to be the number 1 player or the number 5 player. I know he cares about that. He wouldn't be human if he didn't. He wants to be a great teammate, and he wants to play to win. Now, he wants the ball, but not to put up numbers. He wants the ball because he wants to win. And he knows if I can get him the ball in certain situations, trust me, coach, trust me, I got this. And so, and at 18 years old, being really young, he's got some real special in him.
Is your favorite thing pretty much now that you don't have to wear a suit because you don't have to sweat in it all the time?
This whole suit thing. Are you kidding me? Let's go get a long sleeve, 100% cotton shirt, and let's button it all the way to the top. And then let's go put a noose around your neck, like put a big scarf. Then throw a coat on it, and then go coach. How does that make sense to me? I'd rather coach in shorts and a t-shirt.
I gotta be honest, I'm with you, because it's even like when you go to like a fucking wedding, you're sweating your ass off dancing a little bit. You're coaching for 2 halves, 40 minutes. It's not right.
I agree. Like, what's with the tuxedos? What's with buttoning that thing up like that? I just don't get it. And then let's throw some cufflinks on. Why don't you put handcuffs on? What's the deal?
When people say you sweat, it's like, of course I'm fucking sweating. I'm in a suit. It's exhausting. Have you ever watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, by the way?
Which one now?
You ever watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I have.
You sound just like Jeff. You sound. I've been listening. When you sound just like him when he does it, it's unbelievable. Because that's my favorite shows. Watched last time. Like, he sounds exactly like someone. It's him.
That's fair.
Well, they say I look, back in the day, they said I looked like Greg Brady when I had, more of an afro type of thing going on.
I had the afro on my list. How does the afro compare to your current look? Would you ever consider bringing it back one day? Maybe if you guys win it all.
No, I'm not. No. That was back when people would actually pay money to like get their hair permed. Like people with straight hair actually try to get curly hair. Like, it was crazy. I could barely get a comb through my hair. It was like my grandmother used to call it steel wool. She goes, "You got steel wool for your hair." And no, it was a good look back then. It was welcome back, Carter. Bernie on room 222. You guys are a little too young for that stuff, but seriously. Yeah, but now it is what it is.
Whatever you got, you get up and go.
That's fantastic. By the way, your SID Marlene just gave me the memo that the whole coaching staff bought the Release the Twitter Mob crew neck on the Barstool store right now. It says Release the Twitter Mob with an Auburn Tiger and the Barstool logo dunking. What went into that?
Fire shirt.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, you got some real followers on my staff. Mike Burgomaster, my son Stephen Pearl. Yeah, they're definitely part of the bench mob. I can tell you that right now.
That's fantastic. One thing you and I share in common: we're both Jewish. I saw you are the 5th coach to ever make the Final Four who is Jewish. How much pride do you take in that, doing it for the members of the tribe like you and me?
Well, because the fact that you're bringing this up and wearing it on your sleeve, which isn't always popular to do, because there could be a segment of your listening audience that once they found that you were Jewish, go, "Oh, really?" And then maybe not listen to you anymore, because there's still so much anti-Semitism out there, which is, very, very sad. I'm very proud of it, and grateful, and but I'm also still really angry, that 75 years ago, the world killed 6 million of us just because of how we prayed. Like, it wasn't that long ago, and it can happen again. And in some ways it is happening again. So we got to, stand up and try not to let it happen again. Yet at the same time, I am very much about putting people together. People of all faiths, people of all races and religions. It's what coaches do. It's what teachers do. And so I'm very much, tolerant of each other's differences and respectful of each other's differences, even politically. We got to do a better job of coming together. So thank you for wearing your Jewishness on your sleeve.
No,
and
of course.
I'm very proud to be related to you. You're a brother from another mother.
There you have it. We'll enjoy some matzo ball soup one day together. And I also saw in that article that it seems like the Auburn community is very welcoming to that too, because there's not a lot of fellow Jews down there, right?
Well, let me keep it 100 with you. And this is what I don't understand, okay? And I'm so glad you're asking me this question. Abraham is the father of all the nations. All the nations. Islam, Christianity, Judaism, all of them. That means we're all related, by the way. Okay? And then the other thing that this is a Christian community here in Auburn. It's a Christian community. Well, you know who my wife's two favorite Jews are in Alabama?
Who's that?
Me and Jesus. Me and Jesus. And so the point of that is this. I feel such a connection to my Christian brothers and sisters. I really, truly do. Because the man that they love and worship the most, more than any other, is Jesus. Jesus was born Jewish. He was raised Jewish. He was a rabbi. He was a teacher. And he started the world's greatest religion, Christianity. A Jewish man did that. That should bring us together. That should not divide us. We should celebrate that and let it unify us.
I got to go to church or temple right now. I mean, I feel like I'm
You ever been to a bar mitzvah, Marty?
Bar mitzvah, I'll always say, funnest party I've ever been to. It was unbelievable. I loved it. And you should check out the Jewish Jokic, by the way, at Yeshiva Basketball. D3 is unbelievable. You got to see him on TikTok. He's great.
Those boys can play now.
They're good.
They can play.
See, that's when you know you're a good coach. You know about Yeshiva Basketball. They're fucking unbelievable.
You better believe
Maybe a future buy game schedule for you guys.
I'm not. I don't think I can put them on a schedule. I don't think. Of course, we couldn't play them on the Sabbath. We'd have to find a way to play them another time.
No joke, we were in my conference in baseball when I was in
can't
college,
play on
and you
Shabbat.
can't play on Saturdays against them. Back to basketball real fast. So we're talking to Will Wade, where we're talking to a lot of the SEC schools, right? And everyone obviously thinks SEC, it's football, football, football. This year, and even last year, I think, but like this year, definitely. I think the SEC is one. I think it's the best conference in basketball. Do you agree?
I do. I mean, proof will be in the pudding. We'll see. But look, we're no longer what we were, years ago. Mm-hmm. It should make sense because look, we're the best conference in football, baseball, softball, gymnastics, golf, tennis. Look, the SEC is the best conference. So women's basketball, why shouldn't? It's just that. And I remember talking to Mr. Slive about this, and I said, Commissioner, as long as this league is going to be Billy Donovan in Kentucky, in other words, Florida, Kentucky, and nobody else, you're not going to have a great league. I grew up in the Big East, and what made the Big East wasn't just John Thompson and Jim Boeheim. It was Rolly Massimino. It was Carnesecca. It was Calhoun. It was the depth and breadth. What made the ACC great wasn't just Duke of North Carolina. It was when Gary Williams won at Maryland. And Duncan won at Wake Forest, and Valvano won at NC State. When Florida State has been great under Ham. Yep. That's what makes a great conference. And right now, there are probably 5 or 6 teams in the SEC that could finish first through fifth. And you're talking to one of them right now. I mean, literally, and even though it's only 3 games in, there are 5 or 6 teams for sure. And when this thing started, there could have been 8 or 9 teams. Yeah. So the league is really good.
Yeah, I mean,
and I will say this, some proof in pudding. If you look in the last 5 years in the NBA draft, this is not just recently. Over the last 5 years, we got more guys drafted in the NBA than any other conference. So this has been going on for a while.
100%. The depth of the SEC doesn't happen unless guys come in and rebuild programs, which is exactly what you've done at Auburn. 5 straight losing seasons before you get there. When you're hired as the head coach of a team that was losing consistently, where do you start in terms of a rebuild? How does that work? It seems so complex from the outside.
You know what? You just tap into what made the other programs successful. Tap into what Gus Malzahn was doing in football and, what we were doing in baseball and a great soccer program and, things like that so that you sort of know it can be done. And then, look, you just start coaching and teaching, acting like you're there. And you set the bar in a certain place. One of the things that I did, I've made people work harder at Auburn. Like they didn't wake up every day and spend 30 minutes worrying about Auburn basketball back in the day. And whether I say that to my AD, Jay Jacobs, who hired me, Alan Green, who kept me, how much time are you spending on men basketball in a day? Because if you're not, then I'm never going to get this program where you want it to go. The ticket office, the compliance office, although we've worked those guys a little bit too much in compliance. I'm not proud of that. the marketing office, you know, and the sports information. I mean, I got Marlene. I mean, Marlene's never had to work this. She was the SID at College of Charleston. She had all sports, right? Yeah. Now she's just got me. She's never had to work this hard in her life.
Poor Marlene.
I'll tell you what, Marlene does a great job because I emailed her right when your game went final. She answered me within 10 minutes that we're good to go.
Well, she's like you. She's young also, so she's part of that Barstool Bench Mob as well.
That's perfect then, because now my biggest thing when I have coaches on, we have interviews, I'm just very happy to still be here. Sometimes maybe I have a low IQ, very low, not the smartest of people. So just in case I ever get fired from here, I got to try and get jobs with you guys. So like Coach Cooley, I cover his ass when he breaks his pants. I got Will Wade outside, whatever you need. So what can I do for you? You want me to tan you? You want me to work you out? I could spot you? Whatever you want me to do.
Lee, man, just keep entertaining me.
Oh, that's fine.
I think that would be great. You know, just keep it light, keep it lively.
I got a couple. I used to work at counterterrorism. I got a lot of stories. That's how you know we're all fucked. But still.
All right. All right. Well, you know, for me, my backup job is landscaping. Like if I ever can't keep winning, that's what I'm going to do. I'm a landscaper. I love cut grass, plant flowers, irrigation, fertilize.
No one respects grass anymore. When you get those lines, when you get the perfect lines, it's one of the best feelings in the world.
My dad made sure those lines were, and if my lines were crooked, oh my God, my ass was in trouble.
Me too.
Right? And then you know the fertilizer too, because like if you don't spread the fertilizer the right way, then you can get different shades of green, right? Which is no good. But man, I love the textures of landscape. You know, I love the green grass, and I love the dark mulch.
Yep.
And I love the different shades of green in the flowers and the leaves, and I love flowers. I love color.
I used to work as a florist at Home Depot.
I would go just like walk around Home Depot and Lowe's, and I wouldn't even buy anything. I just would. By the way, I know when the flowers are coming too, so I could get my pick. I'm one of those guys that would buy like I take like 7 or 8 plants and move them out because they're all bushed in together, just so I could get the right one, the perfect one. Yes. Right? I do that with plants, and I did that with my wife. I wanted to just get her out from underneath. I wanted to get the nicest shape I could find.
You like hydrangeas?
Love hydrangeas, but the problem is the deer like them too, and you got to worry about deer here in Alabama. Man, I love hydrangeas. Those the different shades of. Now, do you like blue or purple?
I like purple.
Interesting. I'm kind of a blue guy. By the way, if you ever get a chance, go to Martha's Vineyard or Nantucket in the summer. Those hydrangeas, they're world champions. World champions.
I love that.
That's fantastic. I got one more for you. You mentioned the compliance. In your career overall, this is kind of a life lesson too. How do you deal with people who bring up your past, and how do you march forward and block that out?
You know, I would be lying to tell you if I said I don't care what people think. Mm-hmm. That would be disingenuous, and that just wouldn't be accurate. I do care, but I can't control it. You know, I just can't control it. So what matters to me most are the people that know me. And if the people that know me know my character and know what I'm about, if my kids do, if my family does, if the people here at Auburn did, you know, because the people at Tennessee, they did too. You know, and so anyways, you just can't worry about what we can't control. And then so last thing I just want to do is just want to be consistent and just be able to say, look, every place we've been, we've won. For the most part, we've done it the right way. What happened to me at Tennessee? I had some kids that were verbally committed over to my house for a barbecue. They shouldn't have been there. And I shouldn't have let them be there. And I panicked without an attorney during an NCAA interview. I was wrong and paid a huge price. What happened here at Auburn? You know, one of my assistants made a terrible mistake. And unfortunately, you know, I feel terrible for Auburn, the kids that were involved, and even my former assistant that made the mistake. that's pretty much what I've done over 40 years.
Yep.
I at the same time, I think given how competitive this is, I'll be able to look back and hopefully we can continue to, do it the right way and let the guys, the good outweighs the bad. What we're doing in intercollegiate athletics, what we're doing on college campuses, how athletic scholarships has changed the diversity of our country and bringing people of color, white and black, from different environments that would have never gone to college had it not been for an athletic scholarship. What it's done for women and those arenas. And they've all brought us to these college campuses and I think produced a better society because of it, with much more diversity and much more inclusion and much more knowledge. The reason why there's anti-Semitism or racism, it's a lack of knowing each other. We know in sports, we know each other. And we don't care what color you are. We don't care who you pray to. Can you guard? Like, can you guard somebody? Can you make a shot?
Yeah.
That's who I want on my team.
I'll call you dog shit no matter who you are if you're bad at the sport.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
But I like the answer because, honestly, when you said it at first, where it's like, because there's always people like, who cares what people say about you online or this? It's like, no matter how much you say that, you still read it. You still do care because we're in the same world. Like, they don't know me. And they're like, oh, this guy sucks. He's not funny, blah, blah. It's just different in your world. But it's like, as long as your team knows your character or that, it's cool to hear you say that. So I appreciate you opening up about that.
Absolutely.
Coach, we really appreciate the time. This was a lot of fun. We would love to have you on again soon. Auburn, 15-1, number 4 right now. A win at Ole Miss could move up a little bit more.
I'll send you some purple hydrangeas too.
That'd be awesome. and then I'll put a little bit of nitrogen in them, a little bit of nitrogen in that soil, and I'll turn them to blue.
Ooh, look at that, baby.
Awesome.
Hey,
thank you, Coach.
You guys do a great job. God bless you. Good luck with this. This is wonderful. And I know that if I asked on again, I must be doing something right. So I hope to see you guys soon later this year.
Yes, sir.
We will definitely ask again. Thank you, Coach. Good
Thanks,
luck the
Coach.
rest of the year.
All right, guys. War Eagle.
All right, that was Bruce Pearl. Marty, he was amazing. I mean, I went into this one thinking he'd be fun just based off the clips I've seen of him on his past, and he lived up to the hype.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's a fiery guy. He's very passionate about everything and what he does. And I really, what people get on us sometimes, we don't ask the questions that people want to hear. We asked him about a very sensitive topic, and he was just transparent about it. I mean, I like that about him. You can tell why he's been around for a long time. He is right. He has been successful everywhere he's gone. He's brought Auburn to a top 5 team, which usually you don't see in college basketball. He was a great guest.
Yeah, fantastic. Auburn, again, we talked about it earlier in the show. As long as they take care of business at Ole Miss, wouldn't shock me for them to be the number 1 team in the country on Monday.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you have to be with their resume.
Yeah, I mean, wins against LSU, Alabama, Florida. I guess Syracuse doesn't mean that much these days, unfortunately. Loyola Chicago, too. Their one loss, that crazy UConn double overtime game.
Without some players, too.
So, I mean, they could easily be undefeated right now where they would be the undisputed number 1.
Yeah,
so I don't think
1,000%.
you can really dock them for that. It was 115-109. I think that might have been my favorite game of the year. That was an
that
awesome
was a
game.
fucking
That or
insane
Syracuse,
game.
Indiana was also great. Those two stick out. All right, let's wrap up the show. A few segments, love, hate, and beating the buzzer. So we'll start with love, hate. So Big Cat, basically very broad. One thing you love about the sport, maybe a player, coach, schedule, whatever, and one thing you hate. So why don't you start us off?
I obviously got a lot going on, but I tune in as much as I can. I watched the end of LSU versus, who did they play last week? Or Saturday.
Kentucky? Kentucky was during the week.
Yes, Kentucky. I had LSU. LSU's defense is fucking awesome. They just hound you. It's one of those things that jumped off the screen to me. I don't know, they're going to probably struggle a little bit with Xavier Pinson being out, but I think it was reported that it was an MCL strain, so that was obviously a very scary moment where he went down. Mm-hmm. But they just can lock anyone down. It was very, very impressive how they put the clamps on. Yeah, I think it was Kentucky, right?
There was Kentucky in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
Who did they play over the weekend? Oh, Tennessee.
Yes.
It was Tennessee. They fucking clamped them. So
I
love LSU's defense.
All right, what do you hate?
I hate that this podcast refuses to just give a little bit of credit to
I'm
Wisconsin.
in on Wisconsin.
I'm not.
Jake, you've already
Preseason.
cast your lot.
Preseason.
You had a chance to
You
be
want us to
someone
change
totally
it.
different. You could have just been Lenardi would have been getting you coffee.
Yeah. I
What
was
are we
wrong in
gonna
the
do?
preseason.
What are we gonna
I'm
do?
owning up to it. Marty.
Marty just sticks with his hate.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna stick with it till
Marty will never change his mind on anything.
Yes, I will. I changed it. I'll change it if it comes to it. I'll change it. WCC thing is I'm just right about.
No, you're not. More than 2 teams are getting in from the WCC.
Fucking you say everyone's a good loss. Doesn't matter.
No.
Doesn't matter to you, scumbag. All right, I love.
Marty's the best college football gambler in the
Yes.
place.
That's true.
Better
Is that
than
what
he
he
is.
said?
When Alabama was winning on Monday night, 'cause he had
9-6?
Alabama. Yeah, and then the game completely flipped.
Yeah, game of the year.
You're welcome.
No, I appreciate it. I give you a shout out.
Yeah. I love friends. I love when friends step up for other people, you know?
Yeah.
So thank you, Big
Yes,
Cat.
thank you, Big
It's
Cat.
very nice. In a time of need, friends step up and come on the podcast for Crazy Pete.
This will be actually a very good first test for Rico because will he block people who say like, "Oh, the podcast was good with Big Cat on it," or like the numbers went up? We're all the same
It's a
team.
team.
We
Yes.
are literally all the same team.
I agree.
If the numbers go up because
And
I'm
that
on
helps
it,
Rico too.
yes,
He's part of the team.
Yes, like you heard Dave on Dave Portnoy's show, like he wants the podcast to succeed. What, like, who the fuck cares? If people start listening for me and they stay for you guys, that's mission accomplished. As far
Agreed.
as I know.
Stay. Everyone stay.
Stay.
You heard
You
Big
better
Cat say.
stay.
He said stay.
At least just stay subscribed.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. You don't gotta listen.
What do you hate?
I hate Big T
Okay,
Wow.
fair.
because I'm gonna stick up for my guy right now.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna stick up for my guy. But I also hate Ken Palm so much. I keep seeing his fucking name on my timeline, and he doesn't know everything. Everyone uses it as a science, and I fucking hate it. Use your eyes sometimes.
Including the coaches, they use
Including
it. They're
you.
Scout. Of course, including me. I'm the one who got you pissed
Would
off.
he?
at
You
it.
think he'd come on?
Who? Big T?
Ken-
Ken Palm.
Oh,
He's a person, right?
yes.
Ken Pomeroy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
I would love to go against him. He'd probably dummy me in smartness, but
Yes,
still, I
you
think it'd
would.
be good.
Yeah, it'd be a different league for you. I love John Hurrah.
He could go against me. He can't say that fucking Providence is okay.
Providence is good.
Yeah,
They're-
bro.
you
I know
can't-
they are. They
yeah.
are. I'm
Can I
using
ask-
bad teams.
Can I
all
ask
right?
one more question? Do you think that if Rico was 30-8 this month, he would have gotten upset? He's 8-30.
Oh, gambling. Are we talking gambling?
It's
Oh,
tough
okay.
too because on Pick Central they keep putting it out and they can't like be in Barstool content, so it's just like it's gonna be minus 20 the entire
Yeah.
time. It's tough.
And his
8
picks
and
are
30.
the Kansas pick on.
Against Texas Tech.
Crazy.
I hope he's listening to this right now, Rico. When you go on the road in conference, you don't just pick the blue blood every time.
We had this chat with Will Wade.
It'll get
He
you.
said
killed.
like it's
Yeah.
just crazy how much
It's
home court.
very hard. It's
is
the
involved.
only. It's the only sport. College football a little too, but like home court matters so much in college basketball
I agree with any sport
because they're kids.
football's second.
People are fucking screaming at you, and kids
Yeah.
are making mistakes.
I mean,
like-
look at Devin Booker last night. There was no fans, and the Raptor was sitting in the stands. He complained of and made a move.
Yeah,
Hey, mind games. Yeah. I love John Hurrah. This guy on Penn State got his tooth knocked out. Smiling.
oh nice.
Basketball guy.
Did they win any games?
Penn State.
Yeah. Did they beat Rutgers last night?
Yeah.
They did. I was
Yeah, they
gonna
won by
take,
17.
Yeah, I was gonna take Rutgers. I was like, wait, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Don't. That's just a lesson in life. Only take Rutgers at the rack.
Yep.
Yeah, they are very good there.
It's
I hate.
disgusting that you choose to love a Penn State guy when someone's not here.
Oh, State
Oh.
Penn.
My bad.
Jake.
Jake was
Skell.
Jake was like pushing for Nate Oates to come on no matter what yesterday.
No,
It was
no, no,
crazy.
no, no,
Yeah,
no,
it was
no, no,
nuts.
no.
He
You
was
are
like, Nate Oates.
twisting
Nate
this.
Oates. We gotta get him.
It would have
You
been
know?
very funny if Nate Oates came on because I was gonna
No.
just write a bunch of questions about like blob sets and shit.
Elevator
Elevators.
set.
Yeah,
Yep.
stupid shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would have been great.
No, if they won, we would have asked to have
Nate
him on.
Oates had come on and I just literally sucked his dick the whole time. Would have been very funny.
You just start tweeting
Just fill
elephants
in
at him
for-
all the
for
time.
Rico, yeah.
Yeah, I hate that we're not getting enough standalone games. I think there's so many teams in college basketball. There's 358 teams. I feel like on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. there should be a game. On a Wednesday at 2 p.m. there should be a game every single day. We get it during feast
Agree.
week. We should have it year round.
Yeah.
Agree.
So the
That's a
scheduling.
gambler's dream
You're
right
talking
there.
to gamblers here. We definitely agree with that.
My old job, like when I first started at Barstool, one of the first things I ever had to do, what I thought was of importance, was to text Big Cat when the game started at 11:01.
Yeah, anytime there was a weird game start, I needed to know.
That was my job, was to
You
tell
just
him.
can't keep track of it.
No,
Yeah.
sometimes you wake up and you're like, fuck, I forgot this was starting.
Yeah. All right, let's finish the show. Beating the buzzer. So, Big Cat, this is just a rapid fire segment. We'll get to the games we didn't hit on and just quick 10-second reaction on each game. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Number 21, Texas beats Oklahoma 66-52. Andrew Jones drops 22.
Fuck Jordan Goldwire, and the Groves brothers combined for like 10 points.
Fuck that game. It was on Longhorn Network. I made it a system play. It wasn't a system play. I should have been 2-0. I was 2-1.
Fair. Number 18, tennis, Kentucky 78, Vanderbilt 66, Oscar Tshiebwe a beast, 30-13, the first Kentucky player to post 30 and 10 since Tayshaun Prince in 2001. He's just breaking records left and right.
Good stat.
Pippin's good.
It's very
Yes,
good.
and
He had
they're
like
better than
17
expected.
in the first half.
They're
yeah.
better than expected. Them and Texas A&M.
Coaching from the baseline really is crazy.
I hate that court
doesn't
so
make
much.
sense.
That in Minnesota, gross.
Is Minnesota elevated?
Yes.
Yeah.
Minnesota, I've like their away locker room supposedly is one of the worst things of all time, and then
Really?
I've heard that from some
sources.
Dickinson. Yeah,
There you go. Number 22, Tennessee 66, South Carolina 46. John Fulkerson and company respond well from Rick Barnes' harsh words over the weekend. You see
I'm
what he said,
so
Big Cat,
sick
over
of
the weekend?
Tennessee.
No.
He said he better step up or step aside.
I didn't watch this
I'm
game.
pretty sure he
Fair.
added pussy at the end.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Number 25, Illinois 81, Nebraska 71. Trent Frazier season high 29 points for the Illini. I feel like they're flying under the radar.
I'm a big hater on Illinois usually. I actually think they are good.
The Nebraska player who's trying to mimic blocking a free throw. I actually think Nebraska basketball should be able to block free throws.
Agree.
Just make it a little more
I
competitive.
like that.
They get like 7 a year. They should.
Yeah,
get.
like just fucking let them do it.
do whatever they want.
I don't care.
What's his name? Wilhelm Breidenbach? Guy who has like goggles.
Yeah, I mean,
crazy name.
Yeah, it was
He
just
hasn't
a
played in
ridiculous
recently,
thing to like. He literally like fake swatted during a free throw motion, and everyone was mad. And I was like, you know what? Nebraska basketball sucks. Let them do it.
Yeah.
They get some. It'd be funny if like at a random time they get to swat.
Yeah,
Get
like
one
just let them
swat a
have
game.
that rule. I don't know.
like
Make it
it.
a little more competitive.
Florida State 65, Miami 64. The Hurricanes winning streak comes to an end. Big win for the Seminoles. Controversial foul call in the end, but a good game.
What was
Yeah.
the line in that game?
+6 Miami. I had
Oh,
Miami. It
wow,
was
really?
Very odd. Yeah.
Wow, I would have taken Florida State if I had a time machine.
I took Miami, and on Pick Central I said it's going to be a loser because it was a rat line.
Yeah, it was
They
a bad
do
and it was a bad
stuff.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for them.
Texas A&M 67, Ole Miss 51. Don't look now. Buzz Williams is 14-2.
What are the two losses?
Wisconsin and somebody
Oh,
else.
okay. Interesting.
Let's see. Wisconsin and TCU by
Damn.
4.
Damn,
Jamie Dixon.
that's interesting.
Yeah. West Virginia 70, Oklahoma State 60. Coach Huggins Mountaineers 13-2, flying under the radar in the Big
Yeah.
12. They're another team.
I had West Virginia last night. They're a confusing team as well.
Yeah, I think that's just a team you bet on at home, played on the road.
Right. And then lastly, quick A10 notes. Davidson over UMass by 10. St. Bonaventure escapes LaSalle in OT. Remember, entering the year, the Bonnies were heavy favorites in the A10. Davidson's quietly closing the gap. They can win the conference.
VCU is going to win the
I
conference.
think the Bonnies.
VCU?
VCU
no
is going to
good.
beat. What does VCU play Davidson this weekend? No.
Tuesday.
VCU has like the top 5 defense.
Yeah, give me VCU.
Yeah, Davidson, VCU Tuesday.
Everyone thought the Bonnies were going to
The
be good because
Bonnies.
everyone's back.
VCU plays the Bonnies Friday night.
Give me VCU.
Yeah. So that's all I got.
Okay.
But Big Cat, you're not going to join us later tonight. We'll recap the Wednesday games.
Beautiful.
But Marty, let's get to the rest of the show, the Wednesday recap.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Big Cat.
All right, we're back. Fast forwarding a little bit. It's just me and Marty now. Wednesday night. Another great slate. Not as good as Tuesday, but some high quality games. Let's start in the Big East once again. Number 14 number 14 Villanova 64. Number 17 Xavier 60. Marty, I know you like to mention when you're right about Auburn. It's shaping up that I might be right about Villanova. They've won 5 in a row. Are you finally on my side that they are right now the favorite in the Big East?
Almost there.
What do you need more of?
They might be the favorite in the Big East right now.
Yeah, that's all I
but
said.
What?
Yeah, that's all I was asking for.
maybe right now, maybe. But like the thing is, they had a big lead in this game early on. They had a big lead in this game, and I mean, I don't know what to say. That their bench is still complete. What happened towards the end of the game? They started to let them come back. Xavier's just not as elite of a team. I don't know what to tell you. Right now they have the favorites win the Big East, sure.
Yes, but I think you're nitpicking a little bit, as we talked about with Big Cat earlier. Winning on the road in conference, I don't think there should be any buts about it, right? You win on the road in conference, it just counts.
I mean, Colin Gillespie is just – he's actually just fucking unreal. We should have him on soon.
We should have him on again. We should reach out to him. So him and Justin Moore in this 5-game winning streak, they're averaging a combined 37 points per game.
Yeah.
So it's no secret they're going to have to rely on those upperclassmen to make the Final Four, which is, of course, their goal. Why Colin Gillespie decided to come back. But as we know, there's no room for error, right? They have to ball out. If one of them falls flat in the tournament, that's probably it. So it's just basically walking the tightrope, but they've proven they can get across that tightrope.
Yeah, 1,000%. Xavier's an interesting team to me. Like I'm not overly impressed with them, but like they have some like Nunji was playing well. Scruggs is good, but I don't know. What do you think about them?
Yeah, I think a lot of the talk was Scruggs and Fremantle in the preseason. Fremantle missed the first 6 games with injury, and I feel like he hasn't really gotten in that groove yet.
Yeah, he's still like preseason form.
Right. He had one game where he played well against Ball State, 24 points. But aside from that, just one game in double figures. He had an off night once again here with just 3. I think he's their X factor. If he can get back to last season's form, I think they can compete with the top of the Big East. But right now, it's probably hurting a little bit because I'm looking at last year as well. He scored in double figures in 8 out of their last 9 games, right? So I think if he can get back to form, I don't know if it's still the injury or if he's just not enough reps, but I think he's their X factor. Obviously, Nunji's been a great addition, but I think Xavier's still a tournament team for sure.
Xavier's the same team as every year. I feel like they are going to steal. They're going to steal one from a Seton Hall or a UConn or whatever they play. They're not like elite. Like I'm never like, oh shit, Xavier's so good this year. They're just always a good team, but they're not like overwhelming per se.
Yeah, no, I think they're definitely a pesky team. I think they can beat anyone in the conference, but if DePaul beat them, I wouldn't be surprised.
No, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Yeah, so I think they're in that middle of the pack, but they can make a storm towards the top right now. Villanova, also Eric Dixon, 15-10 tonight. So look, they need the top half of their starters to deliver, and when they do, they can go to the Final Four once again. So it's a season sweep for Villanova over Xavier. Villanova 5 in a row and a very favorable schedule coming up, Marty. Butler, Marquette, Georgetown, DePaul, St. John's at home, Marquette again.
Yeah, that's pretty. Like we were talking about the Big East. Like the Big East is top heavy. If that makes, I think it's a little top heavy.
Yeah, I mean Villanova, Providence, Xavier, Seton Hall, UConn. I could see them all being in the Sweet 16.
But the rest is just all like,
Yeah, but in terms of we had the debate earlier as well about Big 12 and SEC having tons of championship contenders. I don't know if I see many championship contenders here.
Yeah, no, I don't. I agree. I don't know. It's just Big East is. I do like that it's kind of getting back to its old roots of beating the shit out of each other and like Seton Hall being really good again and Xavier being the same. Butler is not. They're kind of stink, to be honest. But
yeah,
I don't know.
No, yeah, it's definitely a fun conference, and of course, the history makes the games automatically a little bit more exciting. By the way, we're at halftime. St. John's and UConn is a good game right now. It is a 5-point lead in favor of UConn. So again, I think UConn or North St. John's, I don't think they're on Villanova and the Providence and the Seton Hall tier just yet. But these are both, in my mind, tournament teams, especially St. John's. I feel like they had a lot of hype. I know you were high on them. They could definitely use a road win.
Yeah, they've been weird. Posh Alexander's been not as good as I thought. Champagne's disgusting, but they don't really have many weapons after that.
Right, and they don't have a quality win. Their best win, according to KenPom rankings, is DePaul at 110.
Jesus Christ, they have a lot of close losses. I feel like
Providence by 10, Pitt by 2. You can't lose to Pitt. Kansas by 20, and Indiana by 2. Obviously,
the funny thing is that was pretty much because we were at Indiana, and I just remembered that.
Yeah, it just sticks out. But yeah, go check out that video on our YouTube, and remember, our full episodes are now on YouTube as well. Also, perfect time to plug this, our Michigan video. So obviously our live show was canceled. However, we still were fortunate to get a tour of the big house from Cam Astuli. He showed us around. So go check out the big house. That was a fun time. Really cold, but a fun time. So go ahead and check that out. All right. So on Monday, we had Will Wade on, head coach of LSU. 1 loss this season. They are a very good team. We talked a lot about, in that interview, why it's so hard to win on the road. Said, yeah, the atmosphere, the students are on top of you. What does Will Wade do today? He wins on the road. 64-58, number 12 LSU over Florida.
This was a huge, huge letdown spot. This is Florida's game to win. This was a prove-it game to me for both teams, to be honest, because Florida's been that team where they start off pretty hot, then they kind of struggled a little bit, and they haven't gotten over that hump of having a really good win, right?
Yeah, I mean, Florida has the emotional win against Ohio State.
Yeah.
That was a buzzer beater on Feast Week. They beat FSU at home. FSU has been but aside from that, they haven't beaten anybody, and now they've lost 3 in a row. They also have losses to Texas Southern, which arguably might be the worst loss in college basketball this season. Yep. They lost to Maryland and Oklahoma as well. So I don't know. It's not ideal. And as growing up a Gator fan, I know a lot of people want Mike White on the hot seat.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, Castleton's really good, but obviously, I don't know. Florida's this was again, like I said, prove-it game for both, where it's a letdown game for LSU. LSU's getting the hype again. And you know what? Their defense showed up again. And they just went out and won. They were underdogs going into tonight too.
Really? What was it?
It was plus 2.5, plus 3.
Wow. And maybe obviously home court. They were also without third leading scorer Xavier Pinson.
Yep.
Their best player, Tari Eason, fouled out. He played 7 minutes. Yep. He had 24 in the game over Tennessee on Saturday. 7 minutes, fouled out, and they still won on the road.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Sharif O'Neal made an impact on the game. I felt like
I saw that down the stretch.
He played 13 minutes tonight, and him being able to it was his first
game.
His first game back. Him having an impact on this team, just adding not having your star player and getting him fouled out with 7 minutes playing. It's like, oh fuck, they actually have a legit chance to make it to the Final Four.
Do you think this is kind of a weird question? Do you think opponents, when he steps on the floor, be like, "Oh my God, that's Shaq's son," and get freaked out a little bit, or they don't realize?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we can get him on the podcast anytime. I'm very good friends with his brother. So,
is he a TikToker?
No, he's just a DJ. I met him in LA.
Red DJ,
really? Miles O'Neal. He's the best.
That's so cool. Does he play basketball, or is he just a DJ?
No, he's just a DJ. He opens up for his dad.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So LSU, very impressive road win. And the Gators, meanwhile, 7 of 31 from 3, 11 of 22 from the free throw line. At home, you simply can't have those numbers. You can't go 50% from the free throw line and win.
No, not at all. It seems like what's seeming this year in college basketball is when your best player is like your big man, it doesn't work out well.
Yeah, I mean, teams have caught on to Hunter Dickinson. I mean, he's still playing well, but yeah, it's a lot more pressure on the.
Yeah, they're playing well. They're playing well, but then once you don't have the versatility to be shooting threes, and he still could, you can, if your best player is Castleton or Dickinson, they could still drop 20, 25, but you can keep, and you're keeping everyone else. I mean, no one else scored in. One person scored. Frank's brother scored in fucking double digits for Florida.
Castleton and Fleming scored in double digits.
Yeah, I said Frank's brother. See what I did there?
Oh, Flanders Fleming, yes. Yes, Frank and Flanders, they meet up every Thanksgiving. Yes, so the Gators, hopefully they can step it up, but they're 0-3 in conference play. They have a road game at South Carolina over the weekend. Meanwhile, LSU 15-1, and they have Arkansas. So a little mobster battle.
When I say Sharif came in made a difference, it was on defense. He had 4 points, so he went 2 for 2. But he was blocking, he was a lot of energy on defense. If he can do that off the bench, or never know when he gets maybe start, it's LSU. LSU is going to be top 10.
Also, Eric Gaines, only his second start this season, a season high 15 points. So it's just crazy how much this LSU team lost from last year, and they're just plugging away, and they're right there, top of the SEC. So Big win for Will Wade. And if you saw the clip, he did send us the video. The Gator is as big as you mentioned.
Yep, it's literally like I'm a Make-A-Wish child. He's like, I'll send you the hog too next time. I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yeah, LSU is at Arkansas. Well, they're home against Arkansas Saturday, then they're at Arkansas March 2nd. So maybe you'll get that video later in the season. All right, it's Duke time. Number 8, Duke 76, Wake Forest 64. Should they bring Coach K back?
I mean, they played for Coach K. It was the aura was there. It was a good little tune-up to see. It got me used to being able to see Nolan Smith and Shire be the coaches next year. It made me feel confident. I liked him. I mean, I liked that he was coaching great tonight. But in seriousness, the X factor, like we've talked about, and he starts tonight, is AJ Griffin. He is a shoot. He can shoot. This is our three-pointer. Joey Baker can't hit the fucking ocean, but this guy, AJ Griffin, starts tonight for the first or maybe second time, and he's starting to feel like he's getting into his rhythm, because he was gonna start, but he was hurt in the beginning of the year.
First career start.
Yeah, first start, and he showed why he should start. The game they start off a little slow, and then they just fucking stomped on their throats. There was a Duke chant on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it is the same state, so an easy trip, but still, this is a tough game. I mean, I know it's tough because the ACC, when you're saying Wake Forest is a tough game, that kind of shows the state of the conference, but they're 13-4. I don't know, Alondas Williams, a good player. This is no head coach. It was definitely a trap spot. I told you in the office today I would not have been shocked if they lost this game.
No, yeah, I mean, they're coming off Miami loss and then 13-3 Wake Forest team. You're like, oh, this is at home. This could be a little bit of a trap. But Duke tonight, again, they didn't play well against Miami, and they lost by 1 or 2, whatever it was. And tonight, it's just like when all things are on. Also, I'm a little scared. Also, Keels walked off the court. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with him. I don't know if he's hurt, but if we could look that up, that'd be fantastic. I don't know if they said anything, but I saw him walk off the court on his own and just sit on the bench. But I don't know, when they're on all cylinders, dude, that's 1,000% could win the national championship. And I don't even think that's being biased. I think that's just watching these games.
100%. Stephen Wiseman, a beat writer for the ACC. Trevor Keels didn't look to be in any major discomfort on the bench at the end of the game. That's all I'm seeing right now. I'm sure Shire will address it in the post-game press conference. Also, a little tidbit that we talked about with Bruce Pearl, John Shire, also member of the tribe. So
yes, he is.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why maybe he'll come on the podcast if you tell him that.
Yeah, definitely helps. So nice bounce back win for Duke. Paolo goes for 24, AJ Griffin 22, Trevor Keels 11. So the freshman taking over for the Blue Devils. Quickly
we
now.
talk about the ACC, like Duke. Usually, this seems like this would be a fucking gauntlet, but like NC State's next. They're kind of shitty. Florida State, who has not been very good. It's still at Florida State, so that could be a
That's a
tough
tough
game.
game.
Then Syracuse, Clemson, Louisville, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's kind of coming around, by the way.
Yeah, they've won 6 in a row. A lot of them, I mean, 3 bye games. No, 2 bye games. But Pitt, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Clemson. Yeah, they won 6 in a row. Plus, they have the Kentucky win. Their only truly bad loss is BC, and that's a conference game. So,
yeah, like I'm not saying they're good, but they're definitely making a little bit of like 10-5. They're making a little come. They beat up on Clemson tonight, right?
Yeah, they won by 16.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's certainly a team to keep our eyes on. All right, so now quickly, buzzer beater, number 10, Michigan State 71, Minnesota 69. Minnesota, they were picked at the bottom of the Big Ten too. And look at them hanging around.
Yeah, I know. I don't like Minnesota for some odd reason. I have no reason at all to like say that, but Michigan State has been a weird team to me this year with like the first game of the season. Everyone watches those games against Kansas or whatever, and they've kind of stuck around and just keep winning and winning. And tonight, again, I think we talked about this a lot now. I do have to. You got to look at these conference games differently because they know each other. They play each other every fucking year. I guess I have to look at it with a more of an lens. But again, they haven't played since last Wednesday, a week off. So do you think that had anything to do with it or no?
I think they were mentally ready to play their rival in Michigan, and they didn't get the chance. Maybe they just were a little rusty coming off of this one. I don't know.
The thing I got about Michigan State, they were deep. They have a lot of they got a big bench that they can rely on a couple of guys. But I actually really like Michigan State, to be honest.
Yeah, look, they're undefeated in the Big Ten. They have 2 losses. It's to Kansas and Baylor. Like, no one's gonna knock you for that. They have decent wins or good wins against Loyola and UConn and Atlantis. And 5-0 in the Big Ten. Yes, they've had a pretty weak Big Ten schedule: Minnesota, Penn State, Northwestern, Nebraska, Minnesota. So probably the 5 worst teams.
Yeah.
But hey, it's 5-0, and you can only play who you can control in the conference.
I had them on GameCast. I was watching Duke or whatever team was at the end of I was betting on the other end of the game, and that's why I texted you. I was like, "Oh, did Michigan State just lose or win?"
Did it say they lost on GameCast?
No, on the app, it just said they tied. It said final 69-69. Like if you look on the ESPN app right now, it says Michigan State's 13-2-1.
Oh yeah, Minnesota's 10-3-1.
Yeah, so I was like, "What the fuck happened?" Like, there's a new rule, no overtime or something, like a COVID rule. But yeah, I mean,
that's why you should use the Score app.
Yeah, 1,000% you should use the Score app. They wouldn't fuck that up. But yeah, it's a. I don't know. I honestly don't have a feel on Minnesota yet. You know, they haven't really played when they've lost. They were what 10-0 and they lost 3 in a row.
They were 7-0 and 10-1. They've lost 3. Their 4 losses are Michigan State, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan State. So like Michigan State twice, but yeah. I mean, they have the win over Michigan, which was stunning. But besides that, they'd be Mississippi State.
Mississippi State on the road.
Yeah. So I mean, look, they had 0 expectations. They have a first-year head coach. I mean, this is much better than any Minnesota fan probably expected.
Yeah.
And then a few other things. Fordham's 9-5. They're 2-0 in the A10. You see their final stretch against Duquesne? Jack Mack tweeted it out.
Oh yeah, I did. I mean, we have the Fordham, the Pussy Patrol coming after us now.
Yeah, I mean, look at them. Look at all these like teams we thought would be terrible in their conferences, like actually not being bad. Fordham, Vanderbilt, Minnesota.
Do you think that these teams that we did think are because of this COVID shit, where like they had these guys be able to come back and like even though they weren't that great last year, it's still another year of experience and like I don't know. It's more like still the same teams where it's like not getting used to these new guys and they already sucked last year. I don't know. Because it's been a while of like bottom of the barrel fucking teams coming up and now they're like ranked.
Yeah. I mean, Fordham's far away
Not
from being
Fordham.
ranked.
I'm more talking about like Iowa State.
Yeah. I mean, Iowa State was awful. Like one of the worst
Yeah.
teams in the country last year. But also they have a new head coach, so he's obviously changed the culture quickly. Yeah, so congrats to Fordham. Maybe a team to watch. I know we talked about earlier, Big Cat thinks VCU is going to win the A-10. We think St. Bonaventure and Davidson will have a say in it, but look out for Fordham. Maybe a little spoiler as the season goes on.
The bodies are a disappointment.
They just, with those 5 seniors, everyone was just like, yep,
I know that's
on the table.
It's like it's still the Bonnies, like they're good, but like everyone was expecting them to be ranked almost all season. They just because they have the same fucking guys.
You want a crazy stat? This is a
Yeah.
minutes version of the box score game. So we mentioned they beat LaSalle in overtime earlier. Here's their box score. Dominic Welch, 45 minutes. Jalen Attaway, 45 minutes. Jaron Holmes, 45 minutes. Kyle Lofton, 44 minutes. Oshun Oshunuyi, 43 minutes. Abdul Kareem Kolubali, 2 minutes. Quadri Adams, 1 minute.
I kind of love it. Fuck the team. Fuck the team. With no foul troubles, everyone's on the bench.
You think Villanova has no bench?
Yeah, that's no bench there, right? They might as well not even come to the game. I'd rather not come to the game.
Oh my God. They literally played a 5-man lineup, except one guy with 2 minutes and one guy with 1 minute.
Yeah, this coach
That's
is like,
amazing.
this is the last time I'm getting all these guys. I'm not going to have a team like this ever again. I'm playing everybody.
I love it. It's like in
They gotta
Madden and
fucking
2K.
pass
We
out.
make substitutions. Yeah.
Bro, I give
Wow.
him a break. 45 minutes.
3 guys at 45, 144, 143.
Jesus Christ.
That's crazy. I've never seen that before.
No.
And then a couple of mid-major notes. I know you don't like talking about this, but it's worth mentioning. Gotta give my guys at Vermont credit. Most threes in school history, 19 against Stony Brook. They took down your Long Island guys. They put up 98. They're supposed to be 1 and 2 in the America East, so big win for Vermont. And did you see that buzzer beater I tweeted between Radford and Longwood?
No.
Look, pull it up right now. I want your live reaction on it. Go to my
did
account.
we tweet it?
I tweeted it. I don't know if the account did. So Radford and Longwood out of the Big South Conference. This was to force overtime. Radford eventually lost, but they were down by 3 with 1 second left.
1 second, I'm going to watch it.
Got a shot with 1 second to go. McNeil tosses it up to Mangum.
Get the fuck out of here. That guy didn't even know he hit that. He turned around and just like it was like a fucking hot potato. He just went like this.
Yeah, that was insane. They ended up still losing, but that's a crazy buzz. Like you couldn't do that in practice with no one on you.
Yeah, exactly. That's a driveway fucking shot.
Yeah. So shout out to Radford. They did lose. Longwood with the win. I don't know if that'll help with our list. I think we're at like 275 out of 358. By the way, if you're just listening, our list is we are trying to name naturally every D1 team on this podcast. One of the mobsters does a good job tracking that and tweeting it every episode. So that was tonight.
I tweeted something out. I honestly think we should try this one night.
About the threes?
I really think I could hit a 90% clip of saying yes or no to when the ball is not like when it's close to the basket, like right out of their hand.
I think it's easy when they're shooting it on the near side of us because you could see
I have such wrist vision. It's fucking unbelievable.
So if they're shooting it from the far corner from the camera, it's just as easier for you, or it's easier on the near side?
No, I think it's all the same. I have such one wrist vision of like you've never seen before. And motion vision, it's crazy. I was doing it tonight. I'm like, holy shit! I don't think I've gotten one wrong.
All right,
I think we have to. I think we all have to watch a game when Bosco's back from suspension. And I mean, John Rothstein, Jesus Christ, he wants to lay Rico down and take a shit on his chest. That
came out of nowhere. The PFT was just trying to stir the pot. for those who didn't see.
About Coach
after
K,
John
right?
Shire- yeah, he said John Shire, big win in his first game as acting head coach or whatever. And PFT's like, is Coach K on the hot seat, John? And he quote tweeted and said, the only person on the hot seat this season is Rico Bosco.
Hey, he's not wrong.
But that's just, I don't know. I don't know.
And Coach
I
K
love
is on the
John.
hot seat. I mean, he's getting fired next year.
Yeah, on his own terms.
Yeah.
So yeah, by the way, one more thing. It's only halftime, but Marty, the must bus might be back. Halftime. Arkansas 49, Missouri 15.
Okay. All right. Maybe you got a kick in the ass. Jesus Christ. Fuck you, producer Jake. We're back.
Yeah, producer Jake went to Missouri. You got the win over Rico though, Jake, over the weekend in Alabama. 49-15 at the half.
3 of 25.
That's impressive. If you're going to lose, you'd rather lose like that. You don't want to be
Definitely.
close.
After a
And
big win.
yeah. You know what's crazy? Arkansas is 2 of 9 from 3 right now. And they have 49 points.
That's insane. I hope Arkansas figures it out, man.
We need them to go on a run. He's just so much fun, you know?
This is us ending the show, right?
Yeah.
Everyone, again, I want you to fucking clear your calendars on what's the date, Jake?
Tuesday, March 15th.
March 15th.
All day, all night, we're going to play basketball, and we're going to have some drinks, food, watch party afterwards, March
I
Madness.
promise to God, Rico won't throw a high noon at you. I'm telling you right now, open up your schedule, take off Tuesday. Me, Jake, and Rico have been working behind the scenes with a lot of people to give you the best experience this is our first one, so we don't care about
The Barstool
money.
Bench Mob Invitational. 3-on-3 tournament in Manhattan.
We don't care about the money. We don't care. We want to put on a good event, have fun, meet everybody. We're going to make it very, very cheap for everybody. And it's a no-brainer. If you're good at basketball, if you're okay, you like playing, just join. There'll be a Barstool team. There's going to be a lot of personalities there, different prizes to win. There's going to be a full day of 3-on-3 tournament, and then after to go to a bar with everybody and watch the playing games. It's a no-brainer. Just look out for it. We're going to announce it officially soon, but everyone listening gets the preview of it. But just take off the day. It's Tuesday. It's something to look forward to. You get fucked up with everybody. Play great games of basketball. It'll be fantastic.
And it's March Madness. So you get to play basketball all day and watch basketball with us at night. It'll be a lot of fun. Plus, it's March Madness.
Exactly.
So how can you not be happy that time of year? But yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll have more information on that in a few weeks. So that's our show. Thanks again to Big Cat for stepping in. Again, he'll step in on Thursdays. Mondays, it'll either just be the two of us. We might have a third here or there, and we'll hope to keep the guests rolling in as well.
Yep. See you guys.